238.2 for Nagy Aguilera. And now to the scale, the undefeated Cuban Flash, Frank Sanchez. $237.6 pounds for Frank Sanchez. Frank Sanchez, Nagy Aguilera, 10 rounds, heavyweights, Arlington, Texas, live on DAZN.
Well, Sergio, those are two big dudes. It'll be Cuba versus the Dominican Republic. What's the storyline for that fight tomorrow night?
Well, it's going to be a gatekeeper, a guy who's been in there in Aguilera versus world champions, Tomas Adamek, Chris Arreola. He's been in there with Samuel Peters. Several big names and big punchers, so he knows how to handle that. But he's in there with a Cuban Flash, a big puncher, explosive, athletic. This is going to be a journeyman versus a future prospect or champion in Sanchez.
All right, as we count down the moments to our main event weigh-in, Billy Joe Saunders, not only known for being fantastic in the ring, but having a very good mouth outside of it. He knows how to talk the talk and walk the walk. Here's Billy Joe Saunders off the cuff.
I don't give a shit about Canelo Alvarez, not two shits. You know, for me, in my own brain, I look and I think, well, I've planned this out in my head and I've been dreaming this since I've been a little boy. Since I've been a little boy fighting in the front room, and I look at myself and think, I've visualised this day coming. I've had dreams of this day happening since I've been 5, 6 years old. How in any possible way I've got all the way here. People can say I ain't lived the life, I ain't done it right, but I'm here. Two-weight world champion, two-time world champion, 30 fights, 30 wins, won every single title on the way, beat everybody prospects coming through. I don't want to go right if I've done it wrong.
All right, I am here with Frank Sanchez, heavyweight contender. Frank, you were in action this past December against Julian Fernandez. You're facing a veteran in Nagy Aguilera. What kind of fight are you expecting?
¿Qué tipo de pelea estás esperando después de lo que hiciste en tu última pelea en contra de Fernández?
Bueno, yo después de la última pelea demostré que estoy entre los grandes, entre los primeros peleadores del mundo. Quiero enfrentarlo también a todos, a Anthony Joshua, a Uzi, a cualquiera de ellos. Me siento bien preparado y vengo a ganar y a noquearla en esta pelea también.
Last fight I showed that I'm one of the best fighters in the world. I can fight against whoever in the world, Joshua, Uzi, whoever, and I'm going to go out here and try to knock out my opponent today in this fight.
You have been part of Team Canelo for a while now. What have you learned from that experience?
Has sido parte del equipo de Canelo por mucho tiempo. ¿Qué has aprendido de esa experiencia?
He aprendido mucho ahí desde que llegué al campamento, ahí con Reynoso, con Canelo. Me siento bien contento con ese pueblo mexicano que me ha acogido también. Me han abierto sus brazos, me han abierto sus puertas. Me siento bien atractivo con ellos. Ahí viva Cuba, México.
I feel really happy with the work I've done with Eddie and Canelo, and I thank the Mexican public for opening their arms to me, and I want to put Cuba and Mexico high.
You have said you will face any heavyweight that's out there. What is your message to all the heavyweights who won't fight you?
Dijiste que quieres enfrentarte a cualquier peso completo. ¿Qué mensaje les tienes?
A todos los pesos completos, aquí va subiendo un futuro campeón. Voy en ascenso y muy pronto espero pelear con cualquiera de los 10 primeros. Y aquí estoy para demostrar al mundo que soy el mejor.
I'm here to show the world that I'm one of the best. I'm one of the best, and I'm going to continue to show that. I'm ready to fight against whoever.
Good luck, Frank. Todd?
Thank you, Chris. Now we're about to turn our attention to the super welterweight division. Suleiman Sissoko and Kieran Conaway. What's that fight mean to both of these athletes?
Well, it's a big fight, and I'm surprised that it's happening right now because Conway had a hiccup with Ted Cheeseman and a draw and a loss early in his career. To take a big step with a bronze medalist in Sissoko like that, undefeated, trained by Virgil Hunter, I mean, it's going to be a big step on the big stage. I'm excited for this prospect.
Yeah, it's England versus France next. And for the weigh-in, we send it back to David Diamante.
Thank you, Todd and Sergio. Ladies and gentlemen, our next contest, 10 rounds for the WBA Intercontinental Super Welterweight Championship. And now making his way to the stage, here is the challenger. He's a 2016 Olympic bronze medalist. His professional record thus far perfect. 12 fights, 12 victories, 8 of them coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Paris, France by way of Senegal. Here is Suleiman TKO Sissoko. Sissoko. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. His professional record, 16 victories, 1 defeat. He has 1 draw and 3 wins coming by way of knockout. Here's the reigning WBA Intercontinental Super Welterweight Champion, fighting out of Northampton, England, Kieran Two-Class Conway. Conway. And now to the scale, ladies and gentlemen, the undefeated Suleiman TKO Sissoko. 153.6 pounds for Suleiman TKO Sissoko. And now to the scale, ladies and gentlemen, here is the reigning WBA Intercontinental Super Welterweight Champion, Kieran Two-Class Conway. 154, bang on, 154 pounds for the defending champion. Kieran Conway, Suleiman Sissoko, 10 rounds for the WBA Intercontinental Super Welterweight Championship, live on DAZN.
Well, Sergio, what kind of fight do you expect this to be tomorrow night?
I'm curious to see Sissoko. I mean, he's trained by Virgil Hunter. We know they have that cerebral type of boxing, that like Andre Ward. But with a guy like Conway, he's gonna bring it. You've seen how in shape he is. I mean, looking like Chris Algieri on the scale over there. But we're going to see if he's going to be able to handle that Olympic pedigree of Sissoko. It should be an interesting fight. Conway, it's kind of a make or break for him because if he loses this fight, then there's 2 losses on his resume, 1 draw, and it's going to be kind of tough to get back on top on that A side. Important fight for him.
Do you think this will be one of those exciting fights that could possibly steal the show?
No, I do not, because that's not Sissoko's style. Sissoko doesn't bring that excitement. He's a 1-2 ABC fighter. That's the way he's trained. That's what he liked in the Andre Ward camp. So he comes to win and look good second.
All right, well, let's send it up to the stage now where Chris Mannix will speak to both of our fighters.
This fight as make or break for you. Do you believe that?
I guess so, but I'm here to win, and that's it. I'm going to put on a good show. I'm here to really bring the heat.
When you were offered this fight against an undefeated prospect, what was your reaction?
Let's have it. That's what I want. I don't want these easy fights like the rest of the division, picking and choosing. I want fights that are going to get people interested. I'm going to show what I'm about.
You have said, despite just having 3 knockouts on your resume, you've got more power than that. Is this the kind of fight where you can show it?
100%. I'm fit, ready, stronger than ever. Everything's in place, and it's going to real show what I'm about.
How do you feel coming over here to fight in the U.S.?
Really excited. Look at all this. Good fans, good arena. I'm looking forward to putting on a good show.
All right, well, good luck, Kieran.
Thank you very much.
We're going to bring in Suleiman in just a minute. Walk over. Suleiman, how are you feeling about this matchup?
I feel good. This is a good match. I'm ready. I'm ready for this fight. And you know, this is a huge car. I'm very happy to be here in front of 70,000 people. That's amazing, and I'm ready to go.
Are you working with Virgil Hunter for this fight?
Yeah, since I turned pro, I work with Virg. He teach me a lot of things, and I can't wait to show you guys.
Virgil has a great reputation, of course, the trainer for Andre Ward. What has he shown you?
On my work on my defense, on the strategy, on my technique, on everything.
What is the key for you to beat Kieran Conway?
Oh, I wait for Saturday night.
Good luck, Suleiman.
Thank you very much. Have a good one.
Guys.
Zone is giving a unique opportunity to be part of history, a limited series of NFT collectibles for this fight. Canelo versus Saunders is coming your way. Here's more details.
DAZN's first NFT drop lands with Canelo versus Saunders. Engage with the fight like never before, with exclusive DAZN NFT collectibles, digital assets that fans can buy, trade, and collect. Bid on and buy collectibles in 4 limited edition collections, including the Pick 'em Like prediction series that comes with a chance to earn real-world rewards. Watch the fight live to see which NFTs win, and look out for details during the broadcast of a special post-fight drop. Don't miss DAZN's first NFT drop. Live on DAZNboxing.io.
Certainly a unique opportunity. We allow fans to own a piece of the fight in a brand new way. All NFTs released before the fight come with the potential of rewards such as tickets to the next Canelo fight, signed gloves, free DAZN subscriptions, and personalized videos from Canelo and Eddie Hearn. Check it out. The first ever NFT collectibles by Matchroom and DAZN. Now back to the stage and David Diamante.
Thank you, Todd. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to weigh in the chief support for our huge night of boxing here on Saturday night. It's 12 rounds of boxing scheduled for the WBO Junior Flyweight Championship of the World. And now, bringing up the challenger to the stage, his professional record, 32 wins, 8 defeats. He has 12 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the 4-time minimum weight world champion fighting out of Osaka, Japan. Here is Katsunari Lightning Kid Takayama. And now making his way to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, here is the defending world champion. His professional record, 18 wins, only 1 defeat. He has 12 wins coming by way of knockout. Saturday night, he'll be making his 3rd defense of his world title. Presentando el orgullo de San Felipe, Mexicali, Baja California, Mexico. Here is the reigning and defending WBO Junior Flyweight Champion of the World, Elwin La Pulga Soto. And out of the scale, ladies and gentlemen, the challenger, Lightning Kid Katsunari Takayama. 107.6 for the challenger, 107.6 for Takayama. And now, the reigning and defending WBO Junior Flyweight Champion of the World, Elwin La Pulga Soto. 107.8 for La Pulga. Elwin Soto, Katsunari Takayama, 12 rounds for the WBO Junior Flyweight Championship of the World. The chief support from Arlington, Texas, live on DAZN, Matchroom Boxing.
Gotta love the mascot for Takayama. Looked a lot like you, Sergio, when we hired you. You were outside that check cashing place, flipping the signs with your outfit on. Glad to have you here on DAZN. And look who else is joining us here, ladies and gentlemen. He knows a thing or two about the Super Middleweight Championship of the World. He retired as the WBC Super Middleweight Champion, Carl Froch, out of the United Kingdom. Come on, everybody. Give him a nice round of applause. There you go. How about that? See? You know Billy Joe Saunders very, very well. What does he face Saturday night? How does he get the job done?
He faces a monster in Canelo, let's be honest. It's going to be very, very difficult. I think the only way he can win for me is to box and move and maybe make this fight ugly. But if he stands and trades and plants his feet, he's going to be in serious trouble. So it's all about the movement, head movement, good defense. Keep circling that ring. No straight lines or he's going to be in serious trouble.
Now, Carl, do you think he can get a decision here? I mean, we know that in Texas, sometimes the decisions go the way of the A-side fighter. Can Billy Joe Saunders, coming across the pond, get a decision here in a close fight?
Listen, if he can hit and not get hit back, then he should get the decision. Problem is, he's going to get hit. You know, Canelo Alvarez is going to counter punch, and he puts shots together so well. But I wouldn't like to say that he can't get the decision because I don't want to discredit the sport in any way. If he comes out here, I think he's going to get a fair crack. I really do.
Well, he said he's happy with the judges, and now he's happy with the ring. And we're happy to have you on the broadcast tomorrow night ringside. Can't wait to see you. Carl Froch, everybody. And now back to the stage as we get set for our main event weigh-in. Here's David Diamante. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, wait a second. We've got Mr. Michael Buffer in the house.
Ladies and gentlemen, oh, I am excited, so let's get this party started. Welcome to the official weigh-in for tomorrow night's big main event. It's all brought to you by Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing in association with Canelo Promotions. And ladies and gentlemen, it's right here in this building, the house that Jerry built, the AT&T Stadium, the home of the Dallas Cowboys. So ladies and gentlemen, it's a great night and we have great sponsors participating tomorrow. Hennessy, Never Stop, Never Settle, Air Force Reserve, Tecate, Bet Online, O'Reilly's Auto Parts, Orange Crush, and Valuev. So at this time, let's meet the fighters. It's all tomorrow night live on DAZN. So coming to the stage first for the official weigh-in, he brings a record, a perfect one. 30 fights, 30 victories, 14 wins by knockout, representing and fighting out of Hatfield in the United Kingdom, a two-time world champion, the reigning and defending undefeated WBO Super Middleweight Champion of the world. He is the superb southpaw, Billy Joe Saunders. And let's welcome his opponent, ladies and gentlemen. His professional record, 55 victories, 37 big wins by knockout, only one defeat 7.5 years ago, 2 draws on his record, undefeated for over 7.5 years, considered by many to be, pound for pound, the best fighter in the world today. 4-division, 5-time world champion, Damas y Caballeros de Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, the reigning and defending WBA, WBC, and Ring Magazine Super Middleweight Champion of the World, Saul Canelo Alvarez. Stepping onto the scales first in this champion versus champion unification contest. 12 rounds of boxing for the unified super middleweight championship of the world. He is the reigning and defending undefeated WBO super middleweight champion. the fighting pride of the UK, Billy Joe Saunders. £167.8, 167.8 for the WBO champion. And now his opponent to step on the scale, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, a 4-division, 5-time world champion. He is recognized by Ring Magazine in this division, and he holds the belts of the WBA and the WBC, reigning and defending super middleweight champion Saul Canelo Alvarez. £167.4. Champion versus champion tomorrow night at the AT&T Stadium, Arlington, Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys. Here they are face to face. A little over 24 hours to go for their big title fight, and a great card of boxing the whole night. Remember, it's live on DAZN. 70,000 fans expected tomorrow night here at the AT&T Stadium. Champion versus champion right here on the stage. Undefeated 2-time world champion, Billy Joe Saunders. 4-division, 5-time world champion, Canelo Alvarez. Face to face. Are you ready? It all goes down tomorrow night. A little over 24 hours to go. Let's give it up. Champion versus champion. Saunders versus Alvarez for the unified super middleweight championship of the world.
Well, Sergio, both men on the scale, and I've got to say, Billy Joe Saunders looks better than I have ever seen him.
He looks in amazing shape, and the thing about Billy Joe Saunders, he always comes in great shape, but now you can see it in his body, and of course, Canelo looks like a Greek god himself. It's the stare down that I'm impressed with. It's the eyes, Chico, they never lie, and right now, these are two champions unifying. That's the best of the best fighting each other. I'm excited, man.
All right, let's go back to the stage, and Chris Mannix.
Sí. Muchas gracias a todos por estar aquí. Muchas gracias. Ya los extrañaba. Gracias por su apoyo y mañana esperen una gran pelea y una gran victoria. Muchas gracias. ¡Viva México!
Canelo, last December, you returned to the ring after a year-plus layoff. Now you're back in a huge event. Thousands of fans here in Dallas right now, more than 65,000 expected tomorrow night. How are you feeling about all this?
No, la verdad que me siento muy contento, muy agradecido con todos. Muy agradecido de que estén aquí y espero darles una gran pelea mañana, brindarles una gran pelea y decirles que muchas gracias a todos. Ya los extrañaba mucho.
I'm very happy with everyone. I'm very thankful that everybody came out. Hopefully tomorrow we can give you a good fight, and thank you, everybody.
You knew Billy Joe Saunders was going to try to get under your skin a little bit. Has he this week?
No, no pasa nada. He estado envuelto en estas peleas mucho tiempo. Tengo la experiencia necesaria para poder lidiar con eso y estoy listo para mañana.
No, I've been in big fights before. I have the experience to deal with it. I'm ready for tomorrow.
You have described this not as a hard fight, but a difficult fight. Why?
Sí, tiene un estilo muy difícil, ¿no? Y aparte que es un peleador zurdo. Pero en estos niveles me tengo que adaptar a todo, a cualquier situación, ¿no? A cualquier estilo y estoy listo para eso.
Yeah, he's a difficult fighter, and he's also a southpaw, but at this level, you have to adjust to anything and everything, and I'm ready for any style.
You're ready for any style, but what are you expecting from Billy Joe Saunders?
Una pelea difícil, los primeros asaltos más que nada.
A hard fight, especially in the beginning rounds.
Good luck, Canelo.
Thank you.
Guys?
You heard Canelo say he expects this to be a difficult fight, at least in the early rounds. Do you agree with that?
No, in the early rounds, absolutely, and I think in the later rounds as well. But I was surprised to hear Canelo when we asked him how he saw this fight going. He says it doesn't go past 10. He's going to knock him out in the 8th, 9th, or 10th. I asked Eddie Reynoso, his trainer. He agreed. I asked him, why so much confidence with a man that's never been beaten, never been knocked down? They said, well, the preparation was key. We're knocking him out before 10. Amazing.
I have a feeling Billy Joe Saunders will disagree with that prediction, but let's find out for sure. We go back to Chris Mannix.
All right, thanks, Todd. Billy Joe, you have described a win by you as the biggest upset in boxing history, but you are confident that you'll do it. Why?
I have the belief, I have the spirit, I have the belief, I have the winning mentality. I don't come here to lay down, I come here to win. So, I don't think Alvarez has faced a man with as much art and determination to win as me. It's going to be a good fight. He's a great champion. But to be honest with you, I've come here to take all of these titles and take them by storm.
Canelo is undefeated in his last 14 fights. He hasn't lost since 2013. What can you do differently that his other opponents could not?
I haven't lost since 2008, 13-0 and unbeaten. So therefore, he has to do something differently to beat me, not the other way around.
What's the key for you in a fight like this?
The key to this sort of fight, obviously everyone's got to be on their A game, their best, bring their best to the table. And as long as I bring my fighting spirit and my brain, I've got it.
You have a lot of fans worldwide, but tomorrow night, there'll be a lot of Canelo fans at AT&T Stadium. How do you feel going up against that type of environment?
Mate, these fans will thrive and push me to win. These fans will not bother me. They're all for Canelo. They're cheering for him now, but on the way out, they'll be cheering for me.
Good luck, Billy Joe.
Thank you very much.
Guys?
Well, I know Billy Joe has perhaps the biggest fan here. Tyson Fury wandering around the crowd right now. What is he, 6'6"? There he is, the big man himself talking trash earlier.
Tyson Fury wearing a Versace shirt, I think. Versace shoes, looking the part with the swag. But he's in the middle of the crowd taking pictures with all the fans here. That's the heavyweight champion of the world, and everyone knows it. I mean, look at him. He carries himself like the champ.
Well, he is the Gypsy King, and yesterday he said he felt there was some gypsy magic in the air for Billy Joe Saunders. What do you think he meant by that?
Well, you know what? They're a special breed of fighters, and the way they think, they can conquer the odds. They can do whatever they want. They're on top of the world. That man proved it by coming out of the darkness when no one thought he can do it. Came back and beat the baddest man on the planet, and Deontay Wilder. Why can't BJ Saunders do it?
Well, it is going to be a glorious event, ladies and gentlemen. Roughly 70,000 people will be in AT&T Stadium tomorrow night. Let's send it over to the man who somehow made this all happen, Mr. Eddie Hearn.
All right, thanks, Todd. Eddie, this week has been wild, and you have an intense stare down to cap it before the fight. What have you made of everything you've seen this week?
Fantastic. The fight's got bigger and bigger. Of course, we're going to have 70,000 people in there tomorrow night. We're going to break the record for the biggest indoor attendance in US boxing history. The world returns to normality, and boxing did that. It shows you that when we make great fights, this is the greatest sport of all. Billy Joe Saunders, 30-0, unbeaten two-weight world champion. Canelo Alvarez, pound-for-pound #1. I think we're not going to only see one of the best fights in the last few years on tomorrow night, but you're going to see, I think, the greatest atmosphere that we've ever seen at a boxing event. Billy Joe Saunders has played his part. The Canelo fans are here. It's going to be everything. I've not felt like this for a long time, coming off, of course, the pandemic. I'm probably more excited about this fight than I've been for any other fight. We broke the record in the UK with Joshua against Klitschko, and indoors with Joshua against Parker. That's a European record as well. We break the US record on Saturday, and both these guys deserve the credit. They're two champions that are willing to face each other, and it's beautiful for the sport of boxing.
I think you, Eddie, as a promoter, are something like 0-27 against Canelo at this point. Can Billy Joe Saunders be the man that breaks your streak?
I think that this is actually the best chance that a super middleweight has got against Canelo Alvarez. Billy Joe Saunders is the toughest test for Canelo. The style, the mentality. I went into the AT&T Stadium earlier. The atmosphere would break many people. It won't break Billy Joe, but he's going to have to box at levels that he's never boxed at before, because he's never been in the kind of levels and deep end with fighters like Canelo Alvarez. But does Billy Joe have the levels? We believe he does. British boxing believes he does. But Canelo Alvarez is very good, and he's got the spite. You've heard from Eddie Reynoso. They want to knock Billy Joe Saunders out. They don't want to win this fight, you know, on points or cruise through. They want to do damage and punish Billy Joe Saunders for the lack of respect that he's shown. Normally, fighters come here, they almost bow down and thank you for the opportunity. That's not Billy, because Billy's a winner. Billy's here to win. He's not going to crumble tomorrow. He's going to put in the best performance that Billy Joe Saunders can give. Will it be good enough? We'll see live on DAZN tomorrow night.
You've been around Canelo the last 3 fights. How would you describe his drive to become the undisputed 168-pound champion?
Well, it's hard to find someone that's got such passion and desire to win and succeed and improve in the sport of boxing. This week I've seen something different from Canelo, an edge. Like I said, he's coasted through the last few fights. I think this is great for the fight. I think this is great for the sport. It's built all week. It's going to get bigger and bigger. We want to say a massive, massive thank you for all the fans here today and also all the fans coming tomorrow night at the AT&T Stadium. Like I said, this is the biggest crowd in all sport post-pandemic in the United States and one of the biggest in the world. So the world returns to